It's Eyewitness report. This week, residents of Akinwumi community in Mende, Maryland, Lagos appeal for government intervention as different families battle for the soul of the land. Residents of Church Street, Pakomosoyano Ikpaja are no longer at ease as their effort to purchase and install a brand new transformer is not getting the desired attention from Ikeja Electricity Distribution Company. And in Cross River State, it's a battle of ownership between the state government and refuse dumps as waste litter the streets of Calabar. Who wins the battle? These and more on Eyewitness Report. I am Chris Elems. Our first story takes us to Akinwumi Street in Mende, Maryland, as residents battle an alleged invasion of their space by some families claiming ownership. Our attention is drawn here by this photo sent in by Alhaji Usuma of some illegal fences being put up by individuals. We visited and now we present you our findings. The peace and serenity often enjoyed by residents of Akinwumi CDA in Mende, Maryland, Lagos appears to be tested with a sudden invasion of the area by certain individuals who erected fences on several property around the area claiming ownership.
Where is your boss?
This is the main road.
This is the road.
This is the road.
It's a road.
It's a person like you. This is the road.
As at the time of our visit, a few of the residents were around, keeping watch over what remains of their community.
No cameras, man.
We no camera. You can see I hold the camera up.
Go to your gate and stay. We should not enter. We are outside. Your seat is stopping us.
This unfortunate occurrence has since deprived some landowners of their belongings, some of whom spoke with us when we visited.
I bought a plot of land here like 5 years ago, precisely in 2011. And I had 3 fences on the land. I wanted to develop the 4th fence, so I brought a gate in here January this year. And all of a sudden, sometimes in February, some guys came and said they are the owners of the land. And the land that I bought has a valid CO4. He has a registered deed of assignment, you know, and that's so I wonder how somebody will come and say is the owner of the land that has the CO4 and it's not the person whose name appears in the CO4.
Along the line, we got to know that the conflict was between 2 families, the Sadikus and the Oyero, who are currently laying claim to 111 acres of land here. We spoke with representatives of both families who gave us a background to the issue of contention.
When this thing happened, we went to Palace in Onibumbu. So they said we should submit our survey in Onibumbu Palace. Then in submitting survey, they have independent surveyor. So when they have independent surveyor, when the independent surveyor finish our work, they say that she have encroached on our land. So even in sister confirmed that they don't have anything again. So this year, then we got judgment on Rasaki Sadiku, which at High Court Ikeja. Rasaki is saying gets 32 acres. Then he sold 41 acres to Ebuti, which will have the deed of assignment when Rasaki did for Ebuti. He have 32 acres, he sell 41 acres. So that's why encroach on our land. We will have 111 acres.
If 111 acres. This is 32.42 acres. I'm agree with that. Every 111 acres in law. Todomi Esano fe kule lori. Ní de lágbára mo ra jókòó lé mi ni. Tá bá pè mí sin. Mo ti dúró dìgbà tí appeal ma ṣe gini. Tó máa sọ pé ó ti tán Anthony le Anthony. Torí mi ò rí bí 111 acres wà níbí. Kó fa àwọn tenants sílẹ̀.
While the court may have given a judgment on the case, one of the affected landlords paints a picture of an illegality involved in the execution of the judgment.
If you have a judgment that is valid, the bit I know about law is that when somebody owns a property and the court is giving a judgment to another person to take possession of that particular property, to avoid chaos and disorder, the law has set up a process whereby they give a warrant of possession and they assign a sheriff from the court to go to that property, levy the judgment, hand over the court papers, the warrant of possession, the judgment to the current occupant of that property. And the person will vacate and the new owner will take possession. I was surprised nothing like that. There was no sheriff, there was no policeman, there was no judgment from court, there was no warrant of possession. All we saw was 100 over thugs who came. When they got here, I immediately went to the police station at Anthony to report to the DPO there. And I was surprised. The man said I should go and talk to them. Because the first thing you would expect is that law enforcement officers should know about the law and what the principles of execution of judgment means. I am very disappointed that that did not happen in this case, because if it happened, this invasion is a big nullity that should not be allowed to stand.
At the moment, the residents feel their space has been violated and have resorted to several means of getting the attention of the general public, the Lagos State government, security, judicial and law enforcement agencies to their plight.
Within this road vicinity now, people are being harassed on daily basis. If you want to pass here, you're being questioned within where you're staying. And we're actually pleading on federal Lagos State government to come to our aid because our life is at risk at this particular point in time.
We also got to speak with the eyewitness who sent in the photo to our portal.
I want to especially say thank you to Shanes because the photo I sent in to Eyewitness photo was shown yesterday, and I'm also happy to see you here today following up that report. So thank you very much. But the only appeal I have to make to the constitutional authority in Lagos State is that they should come and bail us out from these problems of crisis of different. I'm the owner, I'm not the owner, here and there, and when we don't sleep, we have to eye closed. So they should try as much as possible. We have written to all these necessary areas we know we're supposed to have done documentation to. If there's a judgment, we agree, we do not. We are here. Some of us have been here over 40 years, and we are not here to fight anybody, but they should go to due process. And if there's any reason for anybody to do anything outside this due process, it's illegal.
Various projects embarked upon by the community, which include this drainage, had been put on hold, pending when whatever challenge they are currently faced with is resolved. While the case continues, the presence of some hoodlums in the community is still causing a lot of uneasiness for the residents, who are hoping government intervention will save them from a looming danger. In order to understand the process of obtaining a judgment and execution, we spoke with a legal practitioner who puts it in a proper perspective.
When a party obtains a court judgment, the party approaches the sheriff section of the courts and they fill certain forms. Some of the forms he might fill are the forms they call the 5A form. 5A usually is in landlord and tenant mostly, and it's to, in other matters too, but essentially that is just to go onto the property and take away goods and items in lieu, that is in replacement or in satisfaction of the judgment sum. Let's say the judgment is for a certain amount of money, so he's entitled by that to go into the premises with the court official. There must be a court sheriff. They call them court sheriff in Lagos, but in most other places they still call them court bailiff. So he goes there with the court sheriff and also with some officers. Usually, if it is expected that there be no resistance or forceful resistance, a few security men, they may not even be armed, will go. But the practice is that you might get resistance even where you least imagine. So the practice is also to go with the policemen. And there's also the practice that has come to stay, at least in Lagos, where you get the court judgment and also the forms and the warrant of execution from the sheriff section, and then you proceed to the nearest police station to get police officers to they provide some sort of reinforcement just in case you get there and there's some violence or some physical resistance. So that is the whole process.
When does an execution becomes illegal?
Imagine you don't have a judgment, or you do have a judgment but you didn't follow the process through, and you go on the land. Whatever you experience at that point, you will have caused it onto yourself. Number one, you are engaged in an act that is illegal and is criminal, and you are also likely to cause a breach of the peace, because they will naturally resist you. They'll ask for, because the person against whom the judgment is being executed is entitled to ask for your judgment and to see the writ of execution having been signed by the judge, because the judge that gave the judgment also, after all the process is done, is also entitled to say, I gave this judgment, and this person has also processed it appropriately at the sheriff section, and therefore endorse the execution of this judgment. Once that is not there, the whole process is illegal.
As the Akinwumi alleged invasion rages on, vital lessons must be taught here by the state government to serve as a deterrent and reference point to cases surrounding land dispute that may constitute a breach of public peace in the state.